Hey there, my name is Megan and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the Finally Fall book tag. This is a tag that I do every year and I actually really like it and I can't believe it's fall already. It's almost 2023. But before we go ahead and get on into the prompts, if you are not already subscribed to my channel, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as the little bell icon so you can be notified every time I post new content. I post new bookish videos every Monday, Thursday, and Saturday, and sometimes other days throughout the week. Also, don't forget to check down in the description box below for links to all of my social medias. Prompt number 1 is, in the fall, the air is crisp and clear. Find a book with a vivid setting, and I'm actually reading one, and that is For the Wolf by Hannah Wherein. I am about 53% of the way through this, and I just made a video about like books with creepy dark forest, and gosh, if I had been reading this when I made that video, I would have included it because this has the perfect dark forest in it called the Wilder Wood. This is a very loose Red Riding Hood retelling, and our main character basically is sacrificed to the Wilder Wood, to the wolf that supposedly lives in the Wilder Wood. And then we actually learn the truth about this forest, its function, how Red, our main character, and the wolf are connected to it, and the magic that goes along with this. But so far, 90% of the setting has been in this forest and in this castle within this dark forest. And it's just so vivid. Like, the author just does an awesome job creating this creepy atmosphere, this forest, this castle, just how everything is integrated. It's just got a great setting filled with magic, and so far I'm enjoying it. Prompt number 2 is, nature is beautiful but also dying. Find a book that's beautifully written but deals with a heavy topic such as loss or grief. And I'm definitely going to go with the Fits in the Fool trilogy by Robin Hobb. I just finished up this series this year, and there are going to be like spoilers in here, so if you haven't read this, I'll put a timestamp down below. You can just skip on over. But I feel like in this book we're addressing, or not in this book, but in this series, grief is addressed multiple times. So first off, we have Molly, who passed away, who was Fitz's wife and the love of his life, and also Bee's mother. So in this book, we have two perspectives. We have Fitz, and then we have his daughter Bee, and then we're both times experiencing how they're dealing with grief over losing their wife and their mom. And then also, when we think, or when Fitz thinks that Bee is dead after she is kidnapped, like, he just goes through this emotional trauma of dealing with her possible death. And that was just so emotional as he was trying to reconcile that she might actually be dead, his little child, his little girl. So not only did he lose his wife, he lost, his daughter, supposedly. And then flip that around, at the end of the book, we see Bee having to say goodbye to her father, as, a child herself, losing both parents. So this entire series is just filled with grief and grieving and loss. And it is a beautiful series that will pull at your heartstrings. Definitely worth the read. I think it's one of her better series in the realm of the Elderlings, but it is very emotional. Prompt 3 is, fall is back to school season. What is a nonfiction book or a book in general that taught you something new? And I just finished up my graduate school work, and I did have to read quite a lot of nonfiction books. I'm going to choose a book called A Meaningful Mess, and this probably will not relate to you unless you are a teacher. I teach middle school, which is Gen Z, and this book is all about how to engage Generation Z in learning because they are just exposed to so much stimuli on a daily basis, and how really to kind of refocus and reset your classroom and way of teaching kind of to meet the needs of this generation, and how to connect that to their real lives, which is ways that they will learn. So I really got a lot of this book. I thought it was really interesting. There are a lot of really good resources that I've since utilized, and ideas that I've just, manipulated to fit my own classroom. And it's a quick read. It's an easy read. Some of it is more theory-based, and there's not a lot of examples of application in the actual classroom. But I feel like if you have the theories, then you can work in ways to implement it in your classroom that fits your students and your teaching. So easy book, definitely worth the read. It actually is on Scribd. I read this on Scribd, so I didn't have to buy it or anything. So if you have Scribd and you're a teacher, definitely I would check it out. Prompt 4 is, in order to keep warm, we need to spend time with friends and family that we love. Name a fictional family, friend group, household that I would want to be a part of. I'm going to actually go with the characters in the Mistborn Era 2 by Brandon Sanderson. I really, really like the interaction with the characters in the Bands of Mourning. So we have Wax and Wayne, who are, they're partners basically, but they really would do anything for each other. And then we have Marcy and Wayne actually, I feel like, develops more of a relationship with Marcy in this book because they have some like personal conversations. And then we have Steris, who is Wax's betrothed, and I really didn't think that she would be as big of a contributor to this friend group as she was in this book, but she like has her own set of talents and importance in this group. And obviously she's important to Wax because they're planning to get married, even though it was more a marriage of convenience than like love, but they're kind of learning to respect and adore each other. So this whole friend group is just becoming stronger, and I just love the banter. I love how it's a strong friend group and they're all equally strong in their own ways, and I would just love to spend a day with them. Prompt number 6 is the colorful leaves are piling up. Show us a pile of fall colored spines. So here is my list of fall colored spines. So we have the Inferno by Dante. We have that like brownish dead color. I have Namesake by Adrienne Young that has some reds and bronzes. Then we have Dark Triumph by Trisha Levenseller, have that bronzy color. The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, got a nice orangish fire color. Hyperion by Dan Simmons, we have some nice yellowish color. And then the Bone Ships by R.J. Barker, some more reds. Prompt 6 is fall is the perfect time for storytelling by the fireside. Share a book wherein someone is telling a story. And believe it or not, I actually had some difficulty in thinking of a book where this is the case. And I'm going to go with A Plague of Giants by Kevin Hearn. This, I think, was one of the first books I finished this year, and I do have a full review of it, which I'll link up in the cards. But in this book, we're actually following like a bard, and there's a present day storyline, and then we kind of go into the stories that he's telling. But this bard is a contributor to the plot for sure, and kind of the current events that are going on that were the product of the events he's talking about. But he is telling the story in front of this crowd, and he is very theatrical. And as he's introducing the story, then we actually go into the actual events that he's talking about. So it's a different narrative style. I can't really think of a book I've read that had that specific narrative style, and I found that it worked pretty well. I didn't like draw me out of the story or anything. I wasn't a huge fan of the book, and I decided not to continue with the series. But I mean, you can check out my review and decide for yourself if it sounds like something you want to read. Prompt 7 is the nights are getting colder, so share a creepy read. And I'm going to go with a fun creepy read, and that is the Cassidy Blake series by V.E. Schwab. I just finished Bridge of Souls, I think last weekend. This is the 3rd book in the series, and Cassidy is a ghost hunter, and her best friend is a ghost. She is able to see ghosts because she had a near-death experience, and she's able to enter what's known as the veil, which is kind of like I want to say kind of like the holding place between the living and then the afterlife, and she's able to release ghosts into the afterlife. And anyway, this book takes place in New Orleans, Louisiana, and I just loved the atmosphere. Like V.E. Schwab does one of the best jobs I've ever seen about developing setting, and you can tell she puts a lot of research into the places that she talks about in this book because these are real places, and I think a lot of the ghost stories she tells in this are actual ghost stories. And our antagonist in this book is death itself, kind of like a messenger of death, and it had like this creepy skull face, and it reminded me of the Day of the Dead, in Mexican culture. So very atmospheric book, creepy setting, fun ghost story. I absolutely had a ball reading it, so I definitely suggest it if you're looking for like a creepy but not overly scary read. Prompt 8 is the days are getting shorter. Name a short, heartwarming read that could warm up anybody's cold, rainy day. So I'm going to go with Project Hail Mary by Andy Weir, which definitely isn't a short book and isn't one that you would think would be overly heartwarming, but there actually is a heartwarming element to this, especially the ending. But in this book, we're following a character that is sent on this mission to save Earth, and we do get a lot of flashbacks that talk about the situation that Earth is in and why it's dying and what's going on. But he is sent on this mission, and he wakes up in space and finds that he's the only one who is still alive. His crewmates have died, and he has to save Earth. And he ends up coming into contact with someone in space that becomes like a really good friend to him and an extreme help to him. And a lot of the book explores their relationship and their friendship and how they work together to save not only Earth but other planets. And like their friendship is so cute. Like it's so well done and believable, and they're different but they're the same, and just how they work together. And just the ending just warms my heart, especially because our main character is a teacher and he ends up just doing something with teaching at the end of the book that just like, oh my gosh, it was so cute. So this book like isn't overly warm and fuzzy all the time in itself, but there definitely are those elements in here that I think would make anybody feel warm and cozy inside. Prompt 9 is fall returns every year, so name a book that hopefully you can return to soon. I'm going to go with The Hobbit by J.R.R. Tolkien. I feel like I've talked about this book a lot recently, but I used to read this book with my seventh graders, and I haven't in the last couple of years just because of, we had quarantine and then we had virtual learning and then just all these things going on in the last couple of years with school that I really haven't been able to read it with them. So I am 99.9% sure that I'm going to be choosing The Hobbit this year because I just want to read it. Like I love this book. There's just so much to explore. It helps anyone develop a love of fantasy and literature, and there's just so many parallels to our own world, and just that underdog story with Bilbo. It's just such a good, heartwarming book and one I absolutely love. It's one of my favorites. So I am very sure that I'm going to be getting to this one very soon. All right, you guys, that is it for the Finally Fall book tag. Let me know in the comments your answers to some of these prompts, and I will see y'all in another video soon. Goodbye.